even if along the way, I'm not saying you won't need money, but even if along the way you'll need money, have you realized money is not the starting point? Yeah, even if you need capital for something, it's usually is an idea. Have I approached something? There are so many steps before the money that you have not engaged in. It's like entering a bus in Nairobi and trying to immediately be in Mombasa, be zapped into Mombasa. It doesn't happen like that. You have to go in the journey, but you only get to Mombasa because you were in the bus in the first place. So we've got to enter the bus. I remember I started going for programs even before I could afford to do them. I'd just enroll and just say, God, by faith, I'm entering this program. But I realized during that program, and that has happened to so many people come to autonomy, something clicks that enables you to actually finish that program. If you're also not willing to spend money, don't expect to make money. Or spend time, don't be willing to spend to make money. I was just looking online at, I don't know if you've heard about this seminar coming up, SOAR Africa, where they're bringing TD Jakes and Strive. And if you're here as one of those guilty people who've been commenting on social media, let me change your mind. People are causing about the 25,000 shillings. I'm sorry, if you don't, it's fine. I like the ones who have said, I really want to come, whatever, are there scholarships, what can I do, I really like those questions because you're engaging in, what can I do, are there other ways of thinking about this? But most of the comments, have you seen them? Oh, he's a man of God, why is he charging money? If I had money, this is for the rich, the way they are pricing it is for the rich, then I'm like, and you're the same person who's going to keep complaining about why you are broke. It is because of exactly comments like that. If you're not willing to invest yourself, and sometimes it's not money, it's yourself. Risk is about doing the things that you don't know how it's going to turn out. Risk is not that I have 100,000 shillings and that, I took such a big risk, I went and bought a plot for 100,000. Sorry, that's baby risk. Yeah, so if you want to do baby risk, you will get baby results, yeah? I'm not saying there's no risk, but risk is really, it's not even about your money, it's about you. We've got to say, put yourself in the line of fire, where you're going to put yourself somewhere, you're going to make me look stupid, you're going to look stupid, you're going to lose, sometimes you're going to fail, but you put yourself in the line of fire because that is doing something to your character. Yeah. When is the last time you put yourself in the line of fire? It's what we call getting out of our comfort zone. But you cannot make money, you cannot create wealth within a comfort zone. It just doesn't work. So it's about put yourself in the line of fire. At work, put your hand up and say, I know nothing about this project, but I will learn and I will head it. But what do we do instead? We are so scared of failing that we put our head down and say, let somebody else do it. Then should that person experience difficulty, what do we go to the lunchroom to discuss? Yes. Yeah? Not understanding that person has already started doing something about it. There's a client along the way, part of my time, which has been one of my most profound lessons. Building, trying to go to corporates. As you see, we do corporate training, trying to get work. And then this guy asks me one day, and he says, you're still relatively new. Why should I pay you the amount of money you're asking? There are 3 other people who also applied for this assignment, and you're more expensive than them. And he asked me, why should I give it to you? And let me tell you, ladies and gentlemen, before I could stop it, it came out, I am the best. I am the best. That was risk, putting myself in the line of fire. So it was a very awkward moment where I couldn't understand why I had said that. He's looking at me awkwardly because he never expected that. The meeting ends and 3 hours later, I get the assignment. And it has taught me over time, I've got to believe I'm the best. And me being the best does not take away anybody else's right to be the best. Because I'm not running the same race as you. My job is to run my race the best as I can. So your job here is actually to be the best. So put yourself in the line of fire. Do the things that you do not believe can be done. We moved into our office in Victoria Plaza and I was like, wow, how we are going to pay for this? It's God. That is risk. The bank, our first bank refused to give us a loan. And then I played up a trick on that bank where I went and applied for a car loan. This is putting yourself in the line of fire. This is what, when you're determined and passionate about what you want to achieve in life, these are the levels you go to. I played a trick on the bank. I was like, you refuse to give me a business loan. Let me try apply for a car loan. I see what you will do. They approved the car loan. Then I went to the MD. Look at your bank. Look at your bank. You don't want to give me a business loan, but you're willing, and knowing that my source of income is the same, willing to give me a car loan. Do you know I was called into the in banks, they call them executive committee meeting, to make a presentation to the executive committee about their policies in lending for small businesses. Yeah. And I consequently got my loan and we moved into that office, yeah? So it makes you, when you're passionate and committed about what you want to do, you put yourself in the line of fire. And especially if you've entered this journey I'm asking you to be on of identity, who you are, yeah? So who I am is not dictated by the fact that you guys refuse to give me a loan. Who I am is a person who will play a trick on you so that you realize the faults about your lending policies to SMEs. Yeah, and I wrote a full article and it went round in banks about that, and I'm still challenging certain banks on that, yeah? So the result of this kind of journey, yeah? And I've said separate yourself from the money. How? Understand money, what's money got to do with it, and understand it's not money that's going to make you happy. What are the results of that? It is because of who you are that you can do those other things. Yeah? It is because of who you are you can get out of debt. Because I love that I'm a solution provider, I can get out of debt. Because I love to travel, I can plan and invest my money that enables me to travel sustainably. Because of who you are, you can budget, you can set goals, you can invest without being overwhelmed. You can retire and still know I have some relevance to provide, because who I am was never my job title. I accumulated skills and experiences that can be translated into something different. I have this conversation with people who are retiring so many times, and I'm like, my goodness, you've got such a wealth of experience. But of course, we live in a society that thinks if you're not 18 years old, you have nothing to give. Yeah, but you have 70. I've sat in boards with people who are 70, and I'm like, wow, the wealth of experience. So you always have something to give. So when you know that, you can do things, you can treat yourself without feeling guilty. Because sometimes even when we buy ourselves something or we treat ourselves on our holiday, we start beating ourselves down. When you know who you are, you can say, I can treat myself without feeling guilty. I can also cut back on things without feeling ashamed. Just because you need to move house, it could be practical for you to move to a smaller house. That doesn't take anything away from you. So I just want to read you something from the book as I summarize. Just to reinforce this topic of identity. Money can be used as one of the resources or tools for the life you want, but it is not the life. You see, making money and the pursuit of money for its own sake can never lead to fulfillment. Money is a moving target. You will always want more. You will always continue to be unsatisfied with each new amount you obtain. Instead of asking, how much money do I want to make? You ought to ask, what do I want to experience? What memories do I want to have? What impact do I want to bring to the table? I have found that on some level, many of us are waiting money to become what we want to do or what we dream of, correct? We think that with more money, we would be somebody different or somebody better, right? If you had more money, you would be more productive, you would be happier, you'd spend more time with family, you'd volunteer, engage and do what you're inspired to do, travel, help somebody. What I'm here to tell you is you have to be that somebody today. You cannot wait for money to be who you truly are. You have to start living out your deepest values, for that is the only way you will actually attract the resources, financial, time, or otherwise, to achieve the life you want. So I'm here to tell you it has to start today. It cannot, let me go think about it. It has to start today. That thing you've been dreaming about, it has to start today. You have to start researching on. You have to start talking to the right people. You have to start saving. You have to start, because you know who you are, don't be afraid to face your debt. You have to go look at how much debt is this today. You have to start living the life that you have, that you were born to live today. There's a verse I really like in the Bible. First of all, it's about the story of the talents. I love that story. Yeah, you all know the story of the talents? Where the master came and gave one man 5 talents, 1, 2, and another 1. The one with 5 talents came back. When he came back out with another 5. The one with 2 came out with 2. And then the one with 1 came out with, he just came and returned the one as is. Return on investment was 0. And the master was very annoyed with the one with 1. And he said, everyone he had given ability. And every time I had thought is that he should have at least made another 1. Because 5 had 5, 2 had 2, 1 and 1. This past week, I listened to a message on the story of the talents, and it was very different from how I've always read it. There was nothing that said the person with 1 cannot make 100. There was no limitation. Even the person with 5 could have made 500. So just because you have 1 does not mean you can't make 100. Yeah? It just means you have to exert the mind that you have already been given. And he was given the 1 because he's the one who had ability to turn 1 into 10 if he wanted to, because the playing field is the same. And the playing field we are all on is time. You and the billionaire, you have 24 hours a day. So never complain that the playing field is not even. The playing field is even with the most important resource we all have, which is time. Yeah. So, and that story ends with, whoever has more will be given. Whoever has not, even that which he has will be taken away. And at first I used to be, oh yeah, God is so unfair. Whoever has more will be given. So the rich will keep getting richer. You know how we like that victim mentality? The rich keep getting richer. No, I think it's whoever has recognized that they have. Have you recognized you have? You have a skill, you have a gift, you have talent, you may have some investments, you may have some assets, you have some networks, you have something. And when you recognize you have and put it to use, more will be given. Centonomy has reached where it is because I simply recognize, despite everything going on around me, despite the economy, despite everything, I am mentally able. That is what I caught on to, and I let it become my source of creativity, and I let that help me bring on people, bring on partners that have helped this vision come to fruition. Although the vision never ends, I'm now seeing something completely different that is making me think we're very small. Yeah? So just go out there and recognize you already have. Just work on it, just train it, just expose it, just talk about it, put it to use.